Deep in the frozen wilderness of the Ural Mountains, the search party came across something that sent an eerie chill down their spines. The campsite was a scene of chaos, tents slashed open from the inside, as if the hikers had fled in a blind panic. Their belongings were scattered, untouched, but there wasn't a single footprint leading away. The biting wind howled through the trees, carrying with it an unsettling silence. Something was wrong, very wrong. Experienced mountaineers don't abandon their gear and run half-dressed into the night for no reason. Yet there were no signs of struggle, no clear explanation. It was as if the mountain itself had swallowed them whole. What happened here? What unseen terror had driven these people to flee into the icy darkness, never to be seen alive again? The answer lay hidden in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. This is The Forgotten Enigma of Dyatlov Pass, 1959. In the frozen, unforgiving wilderness of the Ural Mountains in Soviet Russia, a group of 9 experienced hikers embarked on what was supposed to be an adventure in early 1959. What transpired, however, remains one of the most terrifying and mysterious unsolved mysteries in modern history. The incident, now known as the Dyatlov Pass incident, has haunted the imaginations of investigators and conspiracy theorists for decades. Something horrifying happened to the group on that desolate mountain. Something so unsettling that it left seasoned hikers dead in chilling, inexplicable circumstances. In January 1959, a group of 9 skiers and hikers, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, set off on an expedition in the Ural Mountains, aiming to reach the peak of Mount Otorten. The team was composed of seasoned outdoor enthusiasts, university students, and alumni from Ural Polytechnical Institute, all familiar with harsh winter conditions and wilderness survival. Their goal was to conquer the mountain's frozen, snow-laden slopes, but the route they had planned would soon become far more dangerous than they could have imagined. As they set out, they meticulously documented the journey, recording their experiences in diaries and photographs. Spirits were high, and despite the biting cold, the group appeared to be in good health and ready for the challenge ahead. By February 1st, they had reached the area near the summit of Kholat Syakhl, known to the local Mansi people as Dead Mountain. Realizing they were off course due to worsening weather, Dyatlov made the decision to camp on the mountain slope rather than retreat to a forested area for more shelter. This choice would seal their fate. When the group failed to return as planned, a search party was dispatched, and what they found over the following weeks has perplexed and terrified investigators ever since. On February 26, 1959, the first grim discovery was made. The group's tent, half buried in snow, was found abandoned. It had been ripped open from the inside, with the hikers' belongings, shoes, and cold weather gear left behind, as if the group had fled in a desperate panic. Outside the tent, searchers discovered 9 sets of footprints, some of them barefoot, leading down the slope toward a forested area about 1.5 kilometers away. Near the edge of the forest, under the cover of large pine trees, the first 2 bodies were found. Both men were shoeless, wearing only their undergarments. Around them, remnants of a small fire suggested a desperate attempt to stay warm, but the sub-zero temperatures were far too harsh. Closer inspection revealed the bodies had burns on their hands and faces, as though they had clung too close to the fire in their final moments. As the search continued, 3 more bodies were discovered, including Dyatlov himself, scattered along the slope between the tent and the forest. It seemed as though they had been trying to make their way back to camp when they collapsed in the snow and succumbed to the cold. But the real horror was yet to be uncovered. It took another 2 months for the final 4 bodies to be located, buried under several meters of snow in a ravine further into the forest. These bodies revealed far more disturbing details. One of the hikers had a crushed skull, 2 others had severe chest fractures, and the 4th was missing her tongue, eyes, and part of her face. Yet, despite these injuries, There were no external wounds on the bodies to indicate a struggle or attack by animals or humans. The autopsy reports baffled investigators even more. The injuries sustained by the 4 bodies in the ravine were described as being caused by an immense force, comparable to a car crash. However, there were no signs of blunt force trauma, and no external wounds could explain the internal damage. Even more eerie were the circumstances surrounding the missing tongue and eyes. While some speculated that animals may have scavenged the remains, the Mansi people who lived in the region found this explanation unlikely, as the bodies had been buried under snow, making it difficult for animals to access them. Additionally, radiation was detected on some of the clothing, which only deepened the mystery. As news of the Dyatlov Pass incident spread, theories abounded, ranging from plausible to downright outlandish. The official Soviet investigation concluded the hikers had died due to a compelling natural force. But what exactly that force was, no one could say with certainty. Some researchers believed an avalanche may have struck the tent, forcing the group to flee in panic, but no evidence of an avalanche was found in the area. Others pointed to the harsh weather conditions, theorizing that hypothermia caused the hikers to behave irrationally and flee their tent in confusion, leading to their eventual demise. This explanation is supported by the concept of paradoxical undressing, a condition in which those suffering from hypothermia feel overheated and remove their clothing, despite the freezing temperatures. However, the severity of the injuries found on some of the hikers, particularly the massive chest fractures and missing body parts, could not be easily explained by the cold, or even an avalanche. This led to wilder speculations. One theory suggested that secret military tests had been conducted in the area, and that the group may have inadvertently encountered a Soviet weapons experiment gone wrong. Witnesses in nearby villages reported seeing strange orange orbs in the sky on the night the hikers died, fueling rumors that some sort of energy weapon or bomb had caused the deaths. Other more fantastical explanations ranged from alien abductions to an attack by the Yeti, a mythical creature said to roam the Siberian wilderness. These theories, while far-fetched, gained traction due to the lack of a conclusive explanation. The Dyatlov Pass incident has remained one of the most enduring unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Despite numerous investigations, including a reopening of the case in 2019 by Russian authorities, no definitive answer has ever been found. Over the decades, the tragedy has inspired countless books, documentaries, and even films, with each new retelling adding its own spin to the tale. But the truth of what happened to Igor Dyatlov and his team remains as elusive as ever, buried under the snow and ice of the Ural Mountains. To this day, the barren slope where the incident occurred is known as Dyatlov Pass, a haunting reminder of the 9 lives lost and the chilling mystery that continues to defy explanation. What makes the Dyatlov Pass incident so uniquely horrifying is not just the strange and violent deaths, but the complete lack of an answer. It's a story of seasoned explorers fleeing in sheer terror from something unseen, something that caused them to tear open their own tent and run barefoot into the freezing cold. It's a story of unexplained injuries, radiation, and bodies found in positions that suggest something far more sinister than the wilderness itself. This is not just a tale of a winter expedition gone wrong. It's a horror story with no visible monster, only the chilling reality that something out there, in the heart of the Ural Mountains, unalived 9 people in a way that remains a mystery to this day. And that, perhaps, is what makes it so terrifying, the fear of the unknown.